Okay, we're going to get started. So we've been told there's an accident on Route 287 heading north, so we do have some people still making their way. As a result, we may be altering the order of presentations so that everyone's family members have enough time to arrive. So bear with us, and we might be doing some stuff on the fly, but we're all athletes, so we know how that works. So welcome to our annual Drew Athletics Hall of Fame. We're excited to welcome our inductees, Brent, Stacie, and Jack, and Raul, and I'll talk about Raul later. But we're excited to have you here. We're excited to celebrate these individuals. To start off, I would love to introduce our university president, Hillary Link, who'd like to make some remarks.
Thank you, Krista. Good evening, everyone, to one of my favorite events of the year. It is a true honor and pleasure to join you all this evening in celebrating the accomplishments of these amazing alumni athletes. Since arriving on campus just over a year ago, I have enjoyed watching our Rangers compete on the playing field, on the court, in the pool, all over. Our Ranger Nation is an important part of our vibrant campus community and really a part of what makes Drew so special. It always makes me smile when Krista tells various audiences that I am the most present president she has worked with, and I'm really happy about that. But it comes from the fact that I love our students, I love our campus, and I believe in the amazing work that we do in the classroom, on the playing field, and out in the world. Just a couple athletic highlights for me this past fall alone have been participating in the softball team's home run derby fundraiser for their spring break trip. I did not hit any home runs, but Brian Hirschberg sure did. Hosting the women's tennis team at Hilltop House a few weeks ago to celebrate their landmark conference championship last spring. I think some of the tennis players are here. And I told them they have to convince all their fellow athletes on other teams to win as well, and I would happily host 26 pizza nights at my home if everybody manages to win. And on a personal night, an athletic highlight for me was interviewing the one and only Bob Costas on stage at the Morristown PAC a few weeks ago for the Drew Forum. As a lifelong sports fan, that was pretty darn cool. As a university, we continue to progress as a campus that challenges our students to embrace intellectual discomfort, is welcoming to all as a place to come and learn during their lifetime, and that prepares students for the challenges ahead in our really complex world. Our students, past and present, inspire us all to continue this important legacy. And I would be remiss if I didn't take advantage of having you here to note a couple things for the alumni and friends who are with us this evening. The first is, stay tuned for some really interesting announcements on Drew's exciting entry into future-oriented conversations on learning, AI, digital consumerism, biotech, and more. You'll be hearing more about that in the coming weeks. And the second is, please help support Drew in any way you can. We are working in overdrive to get Drew to a steady and thriving state, but we can't do it alone. We need our alumni to get behind us, vocally in taking up a positive new chapter for Drew, and financially wherever you can. I still want Krista and all of us to be able to put bathrooms in Ranger Stadium. So, if any of you, after playing in various alumni games throughout the day, are annoyed by the porta potty, Brett Silver, Kat Trammell, and the entire advancement team, including Hirsch and Krista, would be happy to talk with you about how to help us get an actual bathroom in the Ranger Stadium for our players and spectators. So, it is a privilege to be on stage tonight with Brent, Stacie, and Jack, and Raul in absentia. I look forward to hearing what are always moving and inspiring words about your achievements in athletics and beyond. Thank you for representing Drew so successfully during your time in the forest and long after. Congratulations to you all, and thanks to everyone for being here.
I am so used to addressing our athletes that I often forget to introduce myself because they see me daily. So for those of you who I haven't reprimanded, lectured, or supported on the athletics field, my name is Krista Racine. I'm the Director of Athletics. For 30 years, I was also a coach here for the women's soccer team. So Drew Athletics is near and dear to my heart in many, many ways. I'm also a parent of 2 Drew alumni, and so I've spent the majority of my adult life on this campus, and it truly is a special place. Hillary, in addition to being the most present president, is also the most athletic president we've ever had. Just so you know, an accomplished tennis player in her own right. So just want to make sure you all know that as well. At this time, I would like to bring Kevin Ralph up to the stage. Kevin is an alumni class of 97, four. And Kevin is the chair of the Hall of Fame committee.
Thanks for trying to give me an extra couple years. I could use them. Appreciate that. Thank you, Krista. It's a pleasure to be able to be up here this evening. I'm going to stick to script, otherwise I might cry a little, so I'm going to try to be tight here. I look forward to this event every year, and I'm really glad to be back after missing last year's event. And President Link, I'm sorry, that was your first event, and I apologize for not being here at that time, but I'm really happy to be back tonight. And of course, welcome home to all you Rangers out there. It's always great to be back on campus in the fall at the beginning of a new academic year for sure. It's also nice, I believe we have a video link going here too, right? So it's nice to welcome everybody at home who's watching us on the video link. As a Drew alumnus, former coach, and chair of the Hall of Fame committee, it's my pleasure to welcome you as we celebrate the careers of 4 outstanding student athletes and a remarkable team who all left indelible marks on this university. This is a very, very special group we have here this evening. To start, I'd like to introduce the Hall of Fame committee members who are in the audience tonight and ask them to please stand. I know there's some out there. And we do have more, and this is a group of volunteers and volunteer leaders who give their time to support the mission of the Hall of Fame, and greatly appreciate their dedication and support to the university, to our university. I'd also like to acknowledge the current coaches and athletics department staff who are here in the audience tonight. Will you all please stand too? Krista, including Krista. I can tell you from my personal experience that our time at Drew as student athletes taught us the value of hard work, of teamwork, and the importance of being accountable to others, all of which was largely due to the influence of our coaches and our teammates. We also had the opportunity to create deep personal bonds, which for many of us have lasted a lifetime. Finally, I'd like to also welcome home all the current members of our Hall of Fame who are in attendance tonight. I know there's a number of you here who I've seen already and some who I will see later, but can you all please stand up too? Drew is really a special place, and I'm a proud son of my alma mater. And I'm humbled every year to be a part of this really very special evening. And now, for the reason we're all here tonight, the introduction of our inductees for this year's class of 2024, I'll bring Krista back up to the podium. Thank you all very much. Thanks for being here.
Brent saw his family, so we can stick in the order. To echo some of Kevin's words, we're here to celebrate these accomplishments of these wonderful former and current athletes. I think you're still competing in a lot of ways, I'm sure. But even more importantly, we're highlighting the characteristics that made them elite. As Kevin mentioned, there are a lot of intangibles that go along with participating in sport. And these are men and women that during their college career did the work, not just during their season, but when it really mattered most, in the off season. They were always the most prepared, among the hardest workers, and were comfortable with being uncomfortable. They possessed the ability to go harder, remain more focused, and stayed resilient in pursuing their goals. True competitors, true teammates, and great athletes that represented Drew Athletics proudly. So let's get started and celebrate them. Brent Archer arrived in the Forest in 2000, making an immediate splash with the Drew Rangers swim program. You see what I did there, right? In his first conference championship, Brent finished first in the 100 backstroke, setting a conference record and posting a time that qualified him for an NCAA B cut. He was also champion in the 200 backstroke, second in the 200 IM, and was part of two relay teams, the 200 medley relay and the 400 medley relay, that finished second. That year, the team finished third overall in the conference. These performances set the table for his continued success. The following year, Brent received gold medals in 3 individual events, the 100 butterfly, 100 backstroke, and the 200 backstroke. In the 200 backstroke, with a time of 156.69, Brent would break his own conference record. In addition to his individual success, Brent was part of 2 relay teams that year, the 200 medley relay and the 400 medley relay, where he would finish third. Brent would continue his career with similar success and accomplishments. He set conference records in the 100 backstroke, 100 butterfly, and the 200 backstroke. His time for the 100 backstroke would remain on the record board for 18 years, and his 200 backstroke time stood for 17 years. Former coach Maggie Bint-Smith said this about her former athlete: Brent was an athlete who rose to the challenge. He was also very challenging at times. He was an incredible athlete with a unique feel for the water. His backstroke records remained for an inordinate amount of time, a credit to his dominance in the events. It is only appropriate that he be recognized as one of the best Rangers ever to wear the suit. His success in the conference championship would earn him 13 first-team all-conference honors, 7 second-team all-conference honors, and his academic accomplishments placed him on the academic honor roll 3 times. Brent is also part of an elite Ranger group. He is one of only 4 Drew men's swimmers to be named as a conference swimmer of the meet. The others are Drew Hall of Famer Tim Lawler, class of '99, who received the honor twice, All-American Hayden Coe, class of '24, and current team member Nicholas Haino-Weidel, class of 2027. It is my honor to welcome Brent Archer, class of 2004, to the Drew Athletics Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Krista, President Link, the entire Drew Athletics programs. It's a great honor. The swim team was by far the largest part of my time here at Drew. It was a lot of hard work and a lot of long days, but it came with a fabulous, ready-to-go social circle, people who were all just as exhausted and hungry as we were. But also, they were ready to lend you their car or host a team party, and it really paid off with a number of lifelong friendships, along with plenty of chances to reminisce about the shenanigans we got up to. We had inside joke cheers, posters, and t-shirts. There was a locker room that was filled with newspaper. There was a desk that made its way onto the pool deck, and that all stemmed from our commitment to the team. So thanks to all of my teammates and coaches for having such a fun time. Thanks to my wife and family for all their support, going to so many pretty boring swim meets in far-flung locales, starting when I was about age 6, and even going to one that I didn't even make it to. And especially thanks to my daughter Susie for sharing in the excitement for tonight's event. Thank you very much.
Next, we're going to honor Stacie Brown. Stacie Brown claimed her spot among Drew's elite group of two-sport athletes during her time at Drew. In the fall season, she would help her field hockey team to 3 semifinal appearances and 2 ECAC championship appearances. She was part of a successful field hockey team era that competed annually in the conference. Familiar to a Drew two-sport athlete, soon after the completion of her field hockey season, Stacie would quickly switch gears, picking up her lacrosse stick and join her teammates in the sport where she would be an impact and difference maker during the course of her career. In her first season with the Rangers, Stacie would establish herself among the top performers in program history in draw controls, goals, points, and assists. That season, Stacie earned first-team all-conference honors, all-region honors, and was tabbed Conference Rookie of the Year. This pattern of excellence would continue the next 3 seasons. Stacie would be named first-team all-conference and all-region all 4 years. Kim Christos, who coached Stacie in lacrosse for 2 of her years, described Stacie as a joy to coach. She consistently, no laughing, teammates. Oh, she did? She had 2 down. I didn't know if you had the transition there. Sorry. Kim, I worked with you for those 4 years. I apologize. I think we were both having kids during that time, so yeah, maybe she forgot. Okay. She consistently strived to learn, grow, and improve her game, despite already having the athleticism and skills to dominate. She was the ultimate competitor, doing whatever was necessary to win. Whether she was fiercely battling for ground balls, soaring to secure a draw control, or beating her defender to find the perfect shot, Stacie did it all. Her fearless and tenacious style of play served as an inspiration to her teammates, leading them with grit and resilience. During Stacie's career, the women's lacrosse team posted a winning record every season. Her first year, they earned a spot in the conference semifinals, and the following 3 seasons, they advanced to the conference championship game. And I believe one of those years you beat Catholic regular season too. Yeah, that's right. We always remember those wins for sure. Stacie's teammate and Drew roommate, Jamie Alfano, shared that Stacie was one of the most talented, hardworking players to ever play on the turf at Drew. She gave it her all every day in practice, and she was a selfless teammate during games. While she racked up the individual awards and records, she remained humble and focused on the team's accomplishments instead of her own. To this day, several of Stacie's records remain ranked in the top 10 among the program's best performers. It is my honor to welcome Stacie Brown, class of 2011, to the Drew Athletics Hall of Fame.
Maybe Kim forgot about the other 2 years, or I made her forget about the other 2 years. I don't love public speaking, so I'm a little nervous. Plus, I'm also 36 weeks pregnant, so let's hope I don't go into labor right now. I told the little guy he had to stay in there until after today, and I'm sorry in advance if I cry because, pregnancy hormones. So thank you to the selection committee for this incredible honor. I'm thrilled to be standing up here with my friends and family in the audience as the only woman honoree this year, and actually the only woman honoree in the last 2 years. I played alongside so many incredible female athletes at Drew, and there are many that came before and after me, so to have been given this honor is truly appreciated. And congratulations to my fellow honorees, Raul, Brent, Jack. It's an honor to be up here with you. So if you had to ask me the best 3 days of my life, it would be the forthcoming birth of our son, our wedding, and April 25th, 2009, when our Drew women's lacrosse team beat Catholic. While I may be being slightly dramatic, this funny anecdote illustrates how much Drew Lax meant to me. I always knew I wanted to play sports in college, but I definitely wasn't prepared for the long-lasting impact Drew Lax and field hockey would make on me. I first want to thank my two coaches, Kim and Felicia, for never giving up on me. I was spectacularly bad at field hockey my freshman year, but after some serious coaching from Felicia and learning from my teammates, I managed to snag a starting spot, even though I was always terrified of touching the ball. So I know I probably put Kim through the ringer, but her confidence and faith in me as a player never wavered. This approach was one of her many strengths as a coach, and the confidence she had in me gave me confidence in myself, which propelled me through on the hardest days. I have two very vivid memories that illustrate this. One time we were in a tight game and we needed a goal. She called a timeout and said to the whole team, "Give the ball to Stacie." And I remember thinking, I can do this, and I believed it. But honestly, I don't remember if I scored or if we won, which probably would have made a better end to the story, but I learned a valuable life lesson about believing in myself because others saw what sometimes I could not. The second was my freshman year against Goucher, where I had such a bad cold I could barely run down the field, but Kim said to me, "Stacie, I cannot take you out." But I'm pretty sure we lost that one. But despite my cold, I fought through it and worked really hard for her and for my team, and I tried to apply that work ethic, which was absolutely instilled in me in part due to her coaching and Drew Lax throughout my entire life. Drew's coaches are part of what makes the athletic experience incredibly unique, and the close-knit athletic community was such a highlight of my time at Drew. I'm also so grateful to Kim and Felicia for allowing me to play two sports that I loved, even if it meant missing training with the other team in the off-season. The second big thank you goes to my parents, who almost never missed a game, home or away, through 2 seasons for 4 years straight, even though we lived 4 hours away from Drew. So if you're counting, that's like 40 games a year and a minimum of 8 hours in the car round trip for each home game. Knowing you were on the sidelines and hearing my mom's ear-shattering whistle brought a tremendous comfort to me. Don't do it now, please. So the third and most important thank you goes to 4 incredible women lacrosse teammates and friends who quite literally dragged me to practice and class when I was down and always hyped me up with a good pop song remix. We are obviously still friends to this day, and I hope over the years I've been able to be half as good of a friend to you as you are to me. Jamie, Brooke, Rachel, and Christina, I love you all fiercely and unconditionally and wouldn't be the woman who I am today without you in my life. I would also be remiss if I didn't mention that Jamie and Christina were the anchors of our defense. Brooke was a precise and excellent attacker, and Rachel, of course, was our goalie, 3-time MVP and 3-time first-team all-conference. We had a strong team, thanks in a large part to these women, that to this day is the only Drew women's lacrosse team to beat Catholic during our time in the Landmark Conference, which was truly an unforgettable moment. In my 4 years at Drew, we also made the NCAA tournament twice and the Landmark Conference championship game 3 times, and I couldn't have asked for better teammates to share those moments with. If I had any advice to current Drew athletes, it would be first to never take a moment for granted. I would honestly give anything to play lacrosse at Drew again, minus a few things like 6 a.m. hot yoga, the gauntlet, and Geralda runs. Thanks, Kim. And have been playing in a post-collegiate league for the last 10 years. The second is to always show up and work hard. The last is most important is to be a good friend and a good teammate. After the games end, you have your diploma in hand. It's those friendships and how people remember you as a teammate that lasts. Take the intangible skills you've learned from being part of a team and apply them to your future endeavors, and you're bound to succeed no matter what path you choose in life. And of course, come back to the Forest to play in the alumni games. Thank you again.
Thank you, Stacie. Sorry again, Kim. Next, Jack Rivetti. Jack arrived on campus in the fall of 1989 as a transfer student. It did not take long for him to acclimate to his new school and team. A talented student and athlete, he would immediately establish himself as one of the best all-around players, dominating on both sides of the court. During his 3 years as a Ranger, Jack is still in the top 7 in multiple program season record categories, which include most points, most steals, where he remains second overall after holding the record for over 30 years. And he's only 25. And he still sits 5th for most field goals made and free throws made in a season. He averaged 21 points a game in the 91-92 season and finished his career as a 1,000-point scorer. It is amazing that Jack was able to score as much as he did, considering that part of his career was played with Hall of Famers Kevin Ralph and Dave Shaw. Kevin states, "We were a team that could have used a few extra balls on the court at any given time, considering all the shots we like to put up." He also added, "Jack pushed us all to be better players and teammates through his actions and very few words. He was never a big talker, but made everyone around him better. I remember first meeting Jack when I visited campus as a recruit my senior year in high school. He had just transferred to Drew, and I remember thinking, this is one serious guy. I couldn't have imagined then that 34 years later we would still share an unbreakable bond as teammates, as friends, as brothers, and as fellow sons of our alma mater." Former coach and fellow Hall of Famer Vince Smego said this about Jack. "Jack was a very dedicated and tough-nosed basketball player. He had a great dribble drive that allowed him to get to the basket for layups, and he had incredibly quick hands that enabled him to get a lot of steals. We were a high-scoring team, but he set the tone defensively with his hustle and anticipation. Jack was a real leader on a squad that included a lot of very talented players. He was a star among stars. He wore his heart on his sleeve and got the most out of his ability." Where Jack also sets an impressive standard is in his support of his Rangers. Since he has graduated, he has made it back to Baldwin Gym, often with his family, to watch games and cheer on his team. His performance in a career shorter than most has set a standard that all can aspire to. I'm honored to welcome Jack Rivetti, class of '92, to the Drew Athletics Hall of Fame.
So I had to write this all down because I wouldn't be able to remember everything that I wanted to say. So hopefully you guys can bear with me for a few minutes. I'd like to thank Drew University, Krista, President Link, the Hall of Fame Committee, Drew Athletics Department, for all of their work on the Drew Hall of Fame and for selecting me as part of this amazing class of 2024. Today I stand before all of you, humbled and incredibly honored to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. This moment is not just a culmination of my individual efforts, but a collection of our team's dedication, support, and hard work of so many people who have been instrumental in my journey. As many of you know, and you heard from Krista, my journey to Drew wasn't a simple one. In order to find my way here, I had to make 2 other stops along my college career. And back in the 90s, before the transfer portal, that wasn't something that really happened a lot. My first 2 stops in college were mostly a negative experience. And when I first stepped onto Drew's campus, my expectations weren't high. I was nervous and scared and didn't know if I'd ever play or achieve any success in basketball. However, after a few weeks of playing pickup games with the guys, it was clear that I had found a new home. First and foremost, I want to take a moment to express my gratitude to Coach Smego. You gave me an opportunity to play when no one else did. You believed in me from the very beginning, pushed me beyond my limits, teaching me the fundamentals of your style of play, and instilling in me a relentless pursuit of excellence. But I've also been very lucky with great coaches and mentors in my life, and without them, I never would have made my way to Drew. To Mike Posick, thank you for all of the work you put into me in my early years. You taught me how to be part of a team, how to win, and how to be relentless on the defensive side of the ball, which ultimately was one of my core strengths. To Mr. Hagan, who couldn't be here, my high school coach, Thank you for your dedication to my development both in and out of high school. To my teammates, you're obviously my brothers in this game. There are too many to name individually, but there are a couple that I wanted to point out specifically. First, Scott Moody. He pushed me constantly to work out and play hoops. Even when I didn't want to, he woke up early and worked out with me. He organized games on and off campus, which made me a better player and obviously forged a bond amongst all of us. To Kevin, Ralph, and Dave Shaw, you made it very easy for me to play basketball here. When other teams had to defend you guys, that left me to do whatever I wanted to do on the court. To all of my other teammates, basketball is a team sport, and every victory we achieved, every challenge we overcame, was because of our unity and camaraderie. The bonds we formed and forged on and off the court are lifetime treasures that I deeply treasure. Each of you had an incredible part of my life, and I'm grateful for all of you. Of course, none of this would have been possible without the support of my family and friends. To my parents, who sacrificed so much for me to be here, thank you very much. Your love and encouragement have been a guiding light. To my brother, thank you for cheering me along the way and providing me endless motivation and support and believing in me. To my friends old and new, your unwavering support has been a source of strength. As I stand here today, I'm filled with immense gratitude and humility. This honor is not just a reflection of my individual accomplishments, but a testament to the power of teamwork, perseverance, and unwavering support. I am truly blessed to have been part of an incredible sport and university, and I will carry those lessons throughout my life. Thank you all for being here and sharing this unforgettable moment with me. Thank you to my wife and 2 daughters for indulging me, for listening to all these crazy Drew stories, for learning all the nicknames, and for being part of all of it. This induction to Drew University Hall of Fame is a dream come true, and I am deeply honored to join the ranks of legends who have paved the way before me. Thank you.
Nicknames. Nicknames are a big part of being part of an athletics team. I often talk to our coaches, and they refer to someone, I'm like, who are you talking about? No idea what, but fun. Raul Smego. To say that Raul Smego was a dominant force on the tennis court is an understatement. During his 4 years, Raul was a first-team all-conference athlete selection every year in both singles and doubles. In singles, Raul was no match for most of his opponents. He was 3 times named the Landmark Player of the Year, the only player in conference history to accomplish this. He finished his career with a conference record of 23-2. In the Drew record book, he is still 7th for career single wins. Over 10 years later, Raul is still in the top 10 in the Landmark Conference for a number of wins in a career and in conference play. As a doubles player in 2012, he was named an ITA All-American by virtue of his title win with Hunter Lathrop, class of 16, in the USTA ITA Fall Regional Tournament. In the process, the pair became the first doubles tandem in school history to reach the USTA ITA National Small College Championships, where they finished 1-2. In the Landmark Conference and Drew record book, Raul holds the record for doubles wins in a season, setting the record in 2013 with 23 wins. They sit 3rd in the conference for winning percentage in a career for doubles. As an aside, current Drew tennis coach and alumni Jeffrey Deal holds the record for most doubles wins in a career with 71. Raul's talent and possession of the intangibles that make athletes great played a key role in his success. This is confirmed by his former coach, Jeff Brandis. Was Raul talented? Absolutely. But what truly set him apart was his warrior spirit. He thrived in competition, always focused on problem solving. It didn't matter if he was having a good or bad day. facing injuries, or dealing with obnoxious fans at away games, he never let adversity shake his resolve. His composure was unwavering. He never panicked. Raul was also one of the most coachable players I've ever had, always willing to add to his game or shift tactics mid-match. His leadership skills were remarkable too. I couldn't be prouder of him being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Raul currently resides in Toledo, Ohio, and is a surgical medical resident at the University of Toledo. Unfortunately, he had a last-minute schedule change today at the hospital and had to cancel his attendance. However, he was able to send me some remarks in between surgeries, which I'm really glad that it is confirmed he is unwavering. I am honored to receive this recognition, but this achievement is to be shared by my teammates, coaches, professors, and fellow Drew alumni that helped me throughout my tennis career. Some of my fondest moments in life were spent on the court and on campus. I was able to grow as an athlete and as a person. Tennis, to some degree, is an individual sport, but being part of the Drew community is special. I want to congratulate all the other Hall of Fame inductees. My apologies for not being able to make it. Go Rangers. Please help me in congratulating Raul Smego to the Hall of Fame. Part of our Hall of Fame ceremony is recognizing a team of distinction. And this year, we are recognizing the 2012 baseball team. And to present this recognition is Associate Athletics Director and former baseball coach and home run derby specialist, Brian Hirschberg.
Tag fell off. Thank you, Krista. Thank you, President Link. Thank you to the committee for giving us a forum to celebrate teams that are deserving. I was talking to Krista this week. It's really hard to write something like this from the perspective of a coach without it being overly cheesy, but I am a very cheesy person, if you know me. So just a couple minutes, and I promise to get through this. So I'm very proud of this group of young men. As is typical with any special team, if you've been on one, it's a total cast of characters, and this was no different. Equal parts talent, equal parts luck, and belief in something bigger than themselves. There are so many great memories, but the one that stands out most is the storybook finish to a championship season. We snuck into the conference playoffs. And somehow, we won our first 2 games of the Landmark Conference Tournament to find ourselves as the top seed in the championship game. Thanks to a 7-inning gem thrown by our starting pitcher, Matt Hunter, who's in the crowd today, and an offensive breakout by Mike Bowden, who is here today, and by Mike Chiarella, we find ourselves up 9-5 with 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning, and we're the home team. Just 1 out away from Drew Baseball's first ever NCAA tournament appearance. I won't bore you with the details, mostly out of self-preservation, but Moravian proceeded to score 4 runs before we could get 1 out and tied the game up at 9 apiece. Heading into the bottom of the 9th, feeling completely shell-shocked and dejected, Tom Murray, who's right here, steps up to the plate, and the magic happened.
Oh my God. Wow. Wow.
So a few days after that game, we're preparing for the NCAAs, and a few of the players are in my office, and they're joking about how they can't wait to be named Team of Distinction at a Hall of Fame ceremony one day. Well, here you are. Congrats, gentlemen. I'd like to ask all of the members of the team to stand up and be recognized.
Congratulations. So I was at that game. I am a huge sports fan, not necessarily a baseball fan, and I say that meaning I don't really know all the rules. I'm looking at reservations and all this stuff for the NCAAs, and then all of a sudden now it's tied, and I close everything out, and then all of a sudden the home run scored, and I'm hugging complete strangers. So it was an emotional roller coaster for many of us that were in the stands that day. Sorry, I just had a recollection, Brian. I think of we inaugurated your championship too, I believe, down at Process. Yeah, we won't tell that story. Just remembered that. Anyway, in conclusion, we have had a chance to celebrate some amazing accomplishments by these individuals, by this team, and celebrate what makes Drew special. We invite you at this time, we'd like to continue the celebration over at Mead Hall after we have an opportunity to take some pictures of our recipients on stage here, and also any of the families of our recipients that would like to join in. I can't thank you enough. For those of you that haven't been back to campus in a while, welcome back. For those of you that find yourselves here often, continue to do so. As President Link mentioned, your support and whatever that means for you is so valuable. We love to see familiar faces. We love to see additional fans on the sideline. And everything you do for us does make a difference. And don't think for 1 second it does not. So thank you again for joining us this evening, and we hope to see you over at Mead Hall in just a few moments. Thank you so much.